SmackDown is starting to feel boring. A draft is needed so badly, but I'm guessing we're not going to get one now. I still predict Sami Zayn is going to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. What is up, wrestling fans? I'm Ben Allison here at Wrestling Republic, and I've analysed last night's episode of Friday Night SmackDown, and here are my 5 key findings. In at number 5, the tag team division is carrying SmackDown at the minute. If it wasn't for the in-ring tag team bangers every single week right now, SmackDown would be in a state which is just completely dull. There's little to no storylines in the mid-card, and it feels like the storylines which they do, they abandon. As for the Women's US title picture, it's basically the same thing over and over again. A different champion, but the same challengers. And no matter if it's John Cena or Cody Rhodes who is champion, it seems like the belt is only on TV like once a month. And this probably is a slight exaggeration, but it almost does feel like watching paint dry at times, apart from you do get commercial breaks every 5 minutes as well, which makes it arguably even worse. But it's just not in a good state right now, but thankfully, these tag team matches every single week are stealing the show. They're at least making SmackDown worth watching, or at least making those matches worth watching, and it is a thriving tag team division, which, let's face it, is not something we can really say about WWE for a very long time. So whatever USA are currently paying SmackDown, you better bet most of that is going to the tag team division, because if it isn't, it is a complete disgrace, because they are putting in all the work right now. In at number 4, can we please move on from Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax? In the words of the great tribal chief, it's like the same thing over and over and over again. It's like missionary position every single night. Look, I'm a big fan of both of these ladies. They are two tremendous talents, and the improvements which Nia Jax has made over the last couple of years has genuinely been a joy to watch. But this feud has long outstayed its welcome. It's hurting both of these ladies right now because Tiffany Stratton isn't having the reign which she should be having, and Nia Jax, well, she's just kind of in a stalemate because she's not doing anything of interest on the main roster. Like, during Tiffany's reign, it almost feels like Nia Jax is a break glass in case of emergency type opponent. Whenever they don't know what to do, they're like Nia Jax. And hey, maybe all this was a tease last night. Hopefully that is the case. But even teasing it, nobody wants to see that because we've seen it too much. In at number 3, Drew McIntyre's promo was the highlight of the show, but there's one specific thing which he does, which is massively underrated, but works so well. I first noticed this during the Thunderdome era when he was champion as a babyface, but since then, he is still doing it, and it is really, really clever. And that is moving around while he is talking and making the most out of the space which he has in the ring. Now that sounds really simple, but whether it's going up and sitting on a turnbuckle or going outside the ring like we saw last night, he often does something which visually makes the promo look different, and therefore, subconsciously, we are more invested into it because it doesn't feel like the same old thing. And a couple of other people do this too, right? CM Punk is the big notable one, but Drew McIntyre has really perfected this skill over the last couple of years, and it works really, really well. And it's not something I see many people talking about when they are praising Drew McIntyre. I mean, it makes the promo feel a lot more important and just a lot more interesting than if he was to just stand in the middle of the ring with his mic like a lot of the wrestlers do. But before we get on to the top 2 key findings, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment on this video. It massively, massively helps me out so much. I can't even exaggerate how much it helps with the algorithm. Literally, that thumbs up button, it means the world to me. Thank you, guys. In at number 2, I still predict Sami Zayn is going to dethrone Seth Rollins for the world title at WrestleMania. The only way moving Sami to SmackDown actually makes any sense is if the plan is to just keep him away from Rollins until April. Heyman literally offered Sami Zayn a spot on SmackDown just a couple of months ago, and he turned it down for 2 reasons. One reason, because he wants the world title, and the second reason is because he wanted to get his hands on Seth Rollins. And let's face it, he hasn't really done either of those things in that time frame. And now bang, one MFT attack and suddenly he is taking Nick Aldis up on his offer to move to Friday Night SmackDown. What is the difference? I don't know. But what I think, or at least what I hope is going to go on here, is Sami Zayn is going to have a US title match against Solo Sikoa after pinning him not once but twice now. But that is when he loses. That is when Solo Sikoa retains. And between now and the Royal Rumble, Sami Zayn is going to consistently start to build a bit of momentum, then take 5 steps back. So every time he gets close, something pushes him back. It gets the fans behind him more. Then at the Rumble, Saudi Arabia, you have him shockingly win it. And at that point, he does not challenge Cody Rhodes and instead challenges Seth Rollins. It's been the feud they've been teasing since the Raw after WrestleMania, so I think it would be perfect to conclude it at WrestleMania and for Sami Zayn to finally win the big one. We need a draft ASAP, and I don't think we're going to get one. Based on the fact that Sami Zayn was just randomly traded to SmackDown last night, it does seem like a draft isn't happening anytime soon, and that sucks. Because right now, both brands, but especially SmackDown, are just rehashing old storylines. They're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, again. Sami Zayn bloodline, again. Jimmy Uso bloodline, again. It's just the same thing every single week. It feels so repetitive. Not to mention, in the women's division, Tiffany Stratton literally has no new possible opponents too. It is just really in a bad place. The rosters need freshening up. And the fact that they're not doing this, I'm really worried. Because I don't want to exaggerate and say SmackDown feels unwatchable, but a lot of people, a lot of our followers have sent in messages saying SmackDown feels unwatchable. So clearly for some people it's not far off, and outside of a few storylines, I can see what they mean. Change is needed, a draft is needed, and I don't think it's going to happen. Anyway, that's enough of my thoughts from last night's Friday Night SmackDown. Let's get into the thoughts which you guys have submitted to us via the Wrestling Republic Instagram broadcast channel. Let's kick things off with Shard Talk Scraps, who says the lack of balance on SmackDown compared to Raw is what makes the main roster product borderline unwatchable. I was just mentioning that word unwatchable. Clearly, Shard is beginning to feel that way. I'm going to be honest, I am still enjoying Raw. I think the issue is just SmackDown, but I think Raw's success is why SmackDown is suffering. The balance on the rosters is not good. They are not balanced, so they do need change. They do need a draft ASAP. Fujika17 says the high was seeing Truth be whoever he wants to be. I'm so glad they haven't just scrapped this Ron Killings gimmick. I'm glad they're doing both of them at once. Now, I'm going to be honest, I do wish they just stuck to the Ron Killings gimmick for a little bit longer before doing this dual one. But even still, this is definitely better than just abandoning it completely. Joey Zumaya is saying the chemistry between Alexa and Charlotte is fire. Absolutely. When I mentioned the tag team division earlier on, they have to be included in that. Because while the women's tag team division is pretty empty at the minute, Charlotte and Alexa are doing a great job. Their chemistry is great. They are both having fun, like I've been saying for the last few weeks. So I am all for them. Fishing in the PNW says the high was R-Truth / Ron Killings' reveal and the low was Solo. I'm tired of him. I'm going to defend Solo for a second. I think he has made some fantastic progress. I think he is now a really top talent. The issue is they're giving him the same storylines over and over and over again. There's only so much that he can do, but I think with what he's being given, he's actually doing quite a good job with it. I don't think it's his fault at all. And Jose99 says the highs were R-Truth, Drew's promo, the lows were Alexa versus Piper. I enjoyed that for what it was. Yet another Miz breakup tease. Yeah, that's definitely going to be happening at some point, but at least they're doing something with Mello. So I'm not going to complain too much about it, but you are right. It just feels like this is just every Miz storyline at this point. They need to do something with Tiffy, 100% agree there. And another Bloodline storyline, agree there as well. It's the same thing over and over and over again, and that is the phrase I've used all episode long. I've said it, maybe 10 times now? And that just shows the position which SmackDown is currently in. But that does bring us to the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe. And I will see you guys on Tuesday to analyze an episode of Monday Night Raw. Peace.